Good morning. Yep, it's Friday morning, holiday weekend, and it's snowing. And you know, for those of you who hate snow, I just want you to know that it notoriously snows on this weekend almost every year. This is my daughter's birthday weekend, and I can tell you that it snowed like crazy when the morning that I had her. It has snowed almost every year on this weekend since, because being a 4-day school holiday, we always made all these plans to do something special for her birthday, go out of town or whatever, and it always snowed. It's just a notorious thing. And so people always think, winter's over by this point, but it's not, and it's beautiful out. I would say it's snowing fairly hard. We've probably got 1.5 to 2 inches right now. It'll all melt. Don't worry, it'll all be gone tomorrow, but it's fun. It's fun right now. Beautiful day. Anyway, I was going to make that flippy floppy card, and then I decided I have not done scrapbooking for a while. I just did that big Walgreens 50% off sale and got tons of photos, and I'm ready to scrapbook. So I've been pulling out my layouts, adding photos to them, and I'm ready to scrapbook. And I have my coffee, and yes, it's iced coffee. I have a new flavor today. I add Premier Protein to my coffee, and it's a little weird today because today I added the chocolate peanut butter Premier Protein to my coffee. That's a different flavor. At least it's iced. It tastes a little bit like a milkshake or a treat or something. It's not bad. It's just weird. Peanut butter in your coffee. Okay, anyway. So, thanks for watching. Thanks for staying with me, because I know that my lives get long. Today I want to use the Gnomes for spring. I'm making a good dent in this pack, just slowly using it up a little bit at a time, trying to hoard as much of it as I can. These clouds, oh my gosh, I have so many plans. I want to use them for, the background on all my spring cards because it's a cool sky. But the other side is this plaid, and it really coordinates well with all of the prints. And so I'm struggling, but I'm trying to hang on to the cloud as much as possible. The gnomes, I love this green. I'm surprised how much I like this limeade green. And with the jade green, it's like a really nice springy look. And the other side has that glacier blue. I don't know. I really like it. And surprisingly, this is my favorite of all. I'm using it on every single project. It's driving me crazy that I can't get it in bulk, right? I want a bunch of it. And this is the print I have the hardest time using, but I'm going to use a little bit today. So that's what I'm doing today. I'm doing Gnomes for spring. See, I still have a few sheets left in here. See, I'm hoarding the cloud paper. I have a couple sheets of that. And I kind of started yesterday just a little bit. Now, I want you to know that, sneak peek, in the new catalog that starts in March, we only have 2 weeks left. 2 weeks of this catalog. Oh my gosh. And so I want you to know that in the new catalog, there is an Easter paper that coordinates with this Gnomes for spring perfectly. It is like similar colors, and it's so cool. So I just want you to know that in case you want to decide which one you want, or if you want both or whatever. The other thing, oh my gosh, announcements. So on the 15th of every month, Close to My Heart makes announcements for specials. Hi, Kelly. I'm so excited because, you know, March is typically the Cardstock Carnival, and they try not to give us too much notice on these Cardstock Carnival specials because they don't want us to not buy any cardstock all year long and then wait, you know, to buy it. But who wouldn't wait to buy it when you can get it so discounted? So the cool thing, the best thing, is they have like a mega pack. It's like 308 sheets. And yeah, it's expensive all at once, but it's 30% off. And you get like several sheets of every color. And then you have the whole arsenal of Close to My Heart colors. Okay, that starts in March. And then you can also get 20% off of the other paper packs. And oh my gosh, Cardstock Carnival is like my favorite sale of the year. I totally stock up. I do the big bundle, and I love getting that huge discount. The other special that they announced, so excited, President's Day flash sale starting today, going through, I believe, Tuesday to like Monday night, something like that. And it's going to have some current product and retired product. You know, they always use those flash sales to kind of clean out their warehouse a little bit, but they also put some new product in there. So if you're thinking of ordering, please wait until the flash sale starts, because you just don't know what's going to be in there. It's not going to change day to day. So it's first come, first serve. If it goes, you know, if it sells out, it sells out. So just please check that out today. Should start around 3-ish. And so that's exciting. Those are the two big specials. I'm so happy. And then, of course, the new catalog will start, of course, March 1st. And if you place an order after the 17th of the month, I think it's the 17th of the month, as a VIP, you have the ability to add a new catalog to your order for free. So I have you on my list. You'll get one from me, but if you want one faster, that's how you do it. Make sure you add it if you wait until the 17th to place your order. I think that's tomorrow, if I remember right. Gosh, I need to look at a calendar once in a while. So anyway, I just had to tell you that. So exciting. So exciting. Anyway, so the Gnomes for spring. The interesting thing is that I have used gobs of the paper, but I haven't used any of the stickers. So I thought today, yeah, it starts today, Kelly. So woo, I'm pretty sure. I think it's a 4-day, and you know the office, Close to My Heart office, is closed on holidays, so they're closed like Monday and Tuesday. I think that's an observation of Martin Luther King Day or something. So if there's any questions or issues where we need to contact the office, we'll have to wait. But, you know, usually they get the flash sales started while they're still, you know, open, and then there's usually a behind-the-scenes IT person if there's any issues. All right, so I want to do a springy layout. I want to do a layout that I'm going to use with pictures of my flower gardens. I have this story of, it's crazy, but when I first moved into my house, the landscaping was crazy. And I hacked out a lot of it because we were not high maintenance yard people. And slowly over the years, I've become more of a gardener, and I regret hacking out some of the stuff that I did. But I started putting it back, and I do a lot of annuals, and so I've become the flower lady in my neighborhood. So the one of my neighbors was introducing me to a new neighbor, and she said, "Oh, this is the flower lady. She lives right over there." And she pointed to my house, and I was like, "Oh my God, I didn't realize I was known as the flower lady." But apparently I have enough flowers in my yard every year that I stand out a little bit in my neighborhood. So, okay. So, well, I'm going to start with a white base and a square. I'm just going to do that square, you know, the big square thing, and I'll do something with the coordinating page that looks good. I have an idea in my head. I have some scraps that I'm going to use. I'm not even sure I'm going to cut them down. I may get out my ruler just in case I need to measure some stuff for you all, because I have scraps. So one thing I did cut was this piece of honey butter. This is honey butter, and it is 10.5 by 10.5. So I cut 2 of them because I'm going to do 2 pages. Now, if you are somebody who really likes to save your cardstock, you could gut the paper. I'm not going to do that today, but I've shown it a lot of times. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, let me know. I don't mind showing it again, but gutting the paper is like, you know, a thing. Now, the other thing, I don't know why, but all of a sudden it's really popular again, is distressing. And I'm not exactly sure why, but distressing paper has become a thing again. And so I'm like, all right, I can get on board with that. It's messy, but I'm going to do it. So I usually, I'm going to take a nail file. This is one of those super rough ones. And I'm just going to go around the edges to show that white border, that white edge. And it's really weird that I'm starting to see that distressed look on layouts again. I mean, do you remember how popular that was? Close to My Heart even had a distressed kit at one time. I think I still have some of it. What's really great is a sanding block. Let me just grab mine. If you are mine has seen better days, but if you're somebody who, you know, you can get this at like Menards, or you can get this at like a nail, like Walmart or CVS or Walgreens or whatever in the nail department. And it's nice to be able to hold it and rough things up. And if you really like distressing, what I recommend is the heaviest, strongest nail file. Like this one's kind of soft, like a low grit, or you know, a high grit, where you would actually use it on your nails and it wouldn't rough them up. You need one that's really bumpy and hard. And so, yeah, you can see that mine has had some use, right? Now, the other thing that is like crazy popular besides sanding, let me finish this one. I'm just going to do, I think I'm going to do a couple of things on here, distressing, because it's been a while. It's probably hard to hear me over this, but so while I'm sanding, yesterday, the boys behind me, you know, the baseball boys, they have been full on playing baseball the last 2 days. Like, I have been hearing them hit real baseballs, not wiffle balls. Remember, their mother bought them wiffle balls to use, but I heard them using real baseballs because they were hitting the fence and making a big thunk. And you can hear it inside my house, even with all the windows and doors shut. And I'm like, oh boy, here we go again. Because it was in like the 50s, you know, so it was nice. And they were out of school, I think. Anyway, so yesterday, I knew it was supposed to snow today. And so Moose and I went out there and picked up all of the wiffle balls and baseballs that were in our yard. So between the 2 yards, I had seven wiffle balls and 2 baseballs. So they have quite the stash over there. They have a lot. All right, the next thing I'm going to do for distressing, I have just this squirt bottle of water. It's just water, okay? I'm going to mist this paper. And the idea is to get it kind of a little bit bendy and soft, okay? Not to soak it but wet enough where it's soft. And then you just start wadding it up in a ball. And so look at that. Is that crazy? And the more you wad and crinkle, of course, the more wrinkles and crinkles you're going to have. The hard part, of course, is getting it back open again. And making it flat. But if you wet it, it really does keep it from, you know, really shredding and tearing too much. And so, now, if you do this with brown paper, like the toffee paper, it looks like leather. And, you know, some of those cards that I showed have this kind of look on it. And then you can leave it just like that. The more, you know, kind of texture and stuff that it has, the more bunchy it will look. In other words, like, it may not lay as flat on your page, but you can hit it with your heat tool and dry it out just a little bit. You can use more adhesive if you want it flatter, but I really do like this. Now, on mine, I honestly, almost the only thing that's really going to show is the edge. And so this middle is not really going to show very much. And that's the pretty part, in my opinion. So I'm going to kind of go around the edges just a little more and kind of wrinkle and tear and fold and whatever. Because since I'm putting a thing in the middle, this part will all be covered. So it's only the edges that are going to show. So I like this paper for, I like to do this look for like travel and outdoorsy, kind of more rugged and rough. It kind of reminds me of, like, you know, it would be great for like maps and things. There's a really cool travel themed paper coming up. It's not necessarily all travel, but it will, it will work for this technique. So I'll probably show it again. Anyway, I'm gonna go around the edges just a little and just show you what happens when you sand those wrinkles then. Now the other thing, if you don't want to sand it, you don't have to, but you could ink them. And what that does is it takes off some of that ink and it shows that white core. So the new catalog starts shipping on the 17th. If as a VIP, when you place an order, you will have the ability to add a catalog on, and it will be the new one. All other customers who are not VIPs, it will be the 21st. And then, of course, the catalogs that I purchase for you from Close to My Heart Direct, I really like that. Okay. It probably needs to dry just for a moment. It does feel, this one especially feels a little bit damp. I might hit that with my heat tool just a little bit. So a non-VIP customer can add it after the 21st. So you'll get that catalog before it goes live if you place an order, which is kind of cool. I plan on showing it the last Wednesday of the month. I don't have a calendar in front of me, but let's see, hold on. Okay, this is my planner for my lives. On the 28th of February is what I have for when I am thinking of showing the new catalog. Depends on, you know, sometimes I get a little antsy, but it's kind of hard to, we're not really supposed to show it too far in advance, but it's really, you know, it's a challenge. Okay, I am going to adhere this to my page, and because of all the wrinkles and bumps, I'm going to use a little more adhesive than I normally would. And I'm not putting adhesive super close to the edge because I like the idea of it being a little rough around the edges where it's going to show. And I'm just eyeballing this to center it. I just want it to be close. I'm not a perfectionist, but of course you could use your, you know, your T-ruler, and I put about an inch around the edges. Not bad. Okay, so at wrinkling it up, it was a 10.5-inch square. You can see what happens when you sand and wrinkle and tear and roll, and I mean, you can do all kinds of stuff to, you know, the edges to make them a little rough. All right, let's do the other side too. I think that the distressing thing, people are starting to purge their stash like I am. I mean, it's that time of year, right, where we kind of rethink all the stuff that we've got and try to start reusing our stash. And you know, you see these techniques and it's like, oh, why did I ever stop using that or doing those techniques? They're so cool. And so I'm starting to see these pop up on cards and stuff again. Okay, I love it. I love the texture of it. I love that it's not all glued down, although you could certainly do that, right? Okay, I'm just gonna work on this page first because I don't know what I'm gonna do with the second page yet. All right. So the other thing I did ahead of time is I took this square of the paper and I cut it down to It is 10 inches, 10 by 10. So it's gonna leave like a little bit of a border. Not enough of a border. Man, I think I need more of a border after I did all that work. Okay, let me get out my trimmer here, because I have scraps. I think I'm gonna cut, a ½ inch off of each side. Since I already cut my square, I have to do it off of all 4 sides. But that's gonna make it more of a 9 by 9. But that way my cool edges will show. Yeah, I like that. And then I don't like all this yellow. I don't want yellow everywhere. And so I wanted to use this paper because even though I'm not into gnomes, it is gardeny. And I'm gonna put garden pictures on it, and it's mostly gonna be covered up anyway. So I think I'm gonna put that in the center. Yeah, I like it. There's not a lot of contrast between the stripe and the green, so I had some pink cardstock out here too to play with, because I wondered which side I would decide to go with. The blue, there's more contrast. I wouldn't need the pink if I went with the blue. I don't know, but I need to do something with that. So I'm just gonna center that. You know, the other thing, if you do this in the sapphire color, it is really cool. All right, I have these scraps, and I want to say they're like, I think this is a 6-inch square. I didn't cut it, I just happened to have it. Yeah, it's like 6 1/4. I'm like, I'm gonna use it. So these are also a little over 6 1/4. They're left over from another project. And the pink, the flamingo pink is a little much, so let me just see what this looks like. I think I just want a little bit of it showing, not tons. The only way I can think of to make that happen is to put adhesive on my actual square here, like there and there, and then figure out how much of it I really want to show. I think I don't want very much. Yeah. Oh, don't stick, don't stick. Okay. What is that, like a 1/4 inch or so? Yeah, I like that. All right. Let's do that on this side too. Am I in the screen? All right. So yeah, I like that. I like a little bit of the pink, adding some contrast. Yeah, nice. And the other thing that would look kind of cool is if I pop this up on foam tape. Ooh, that would take a lot of foam tape, but I do have my wagon wheel of foam tape that I could use. All right, whatever. I'm gonna do it. See if I have what I have here. I don't want to use up all my foam tape on such a big project, because I would have to have at least. I'll just make it work this way. Gee, that kind of looks nice too. That's a good use of that word paper. I'll use a foam tape on the next piece or something. It'll be a little smaller. I have, every now and then, places online will have like deals on foam tape, like mega deals. And I try to stock up because obviously I use a lot of it. Okay, yeah, I like that. with this wrinkly paper underneath, you got to use a little more adhesive than you would normally use. You don't want your stuff to start popping off the pages. And then in the center, I think what I want to do is a single, like 4x6 style photo. Do I have a 4x6 mat? I don't think I do. Or I could do just, you know, a couple, but I like the idea of doing one in the middle. Oh, that's neat. And then, yeah, and then I can see the green without all the, I'm not a big gnome person, you know that. So that's not a bad idea. All right, so I think that will be my photo mat, but I'm not gonna put it on because I'm not totally sure. Okay, let's talk about page 2. I grabbed some of my scraps. I had this big scrap of the stripe, and I kind of feel like I need to pull in some of that stripe. And then I had chopped this kind of not quite in half. This is probably, what is this? This is like 5 and, oh yeah. So I had taken a 12-inch piece and kind of cut it. And so this is the other part of my gnome paper. And then I have this, I really want to figure out using this rather than the stripe. And then I have this stripe. And I could put the words down here. I like how it has all the words like the grass is greener, plant a seed, find the beauty, bloom and grow. Those words are spring words, and those will go perfectly with my gardening style. But I need to pull the stripe over too. So, and this needs to be cut down because I want more of the yellow to show. And I think this one was 9 inches, I think. Yep. So this one is 9 inches wide. So I'm going to cut this down to 9. Ta-da. And, you know, I like how that looks. And then I could just use photo mats up here. Oh, I don't know. I like them down there an awful lot. Okay, so this is a great place for me to use these pieces. And I want them to be 9 inches wide because I think I want them to fill that space. So let me cut them each at 4.5. Looks like I can, I'll cut them 4.5 by 5. And then I'll do this one also 4.5. All right, let's see how this looks. I can tuck that under a little, tuck that under a little. Oh yeah, nice. And then I can get out a pink 4x6 mat. Let me see what I've got. I have to grab a new sheet. Hold on. All my pieces are like 3.5, but I think I want a full size photo there. I always like to have at least a couple of 4x6 photos. I don't like to cut all my photos down. That's kind of nice. And then I could have a journaling space up here because I'm not going to take like a dozen pictures of us planting flowers, you know. I kind of like the idea of maybe matting this photo mat too. I know you don't love the yellow, but this yellow is very springy. It is springy, and I think it's gonna work really well. So this is already 4.25 by 4.25. So maybe I'll cut a little photo mat there. You could do this with any color, Heather. It wouldn't have to be yellow. You could do this with the blue, or I mean, honestly, I was a little hesitant to use the blue and pink together. I don't really want it to look like a baby page, although it could be, you know, a baby page. Anyway, now I have more scraps. See, I can figure out what to do with those. Cool. All right, I'm gonna set those aside. I also have this cloud. I thought maybe I need to use it over here. That's not a bad idea to have the clouds like on each side of that. It kind of breaks it up. I like that. Okay, maybe I'll cut that too. I'll cut that a couple of inches off of each side of that cloud paper, and I'll tuck it in here. Okay, I'm liking this page. I think this is gonna work for me. And now I have gobs of, stickers to use. All right, I'm gonna do that trick where for my photo mat, I want the same amount showing on each side. So I'm gonna put the adhesive on here instead of on my page. Sometimes I do this because I might wanna move this around, and I might not want it exactly there. You know, I like it like this though. I do. Okay, I think I am gonna go ahead and put these papers down. My page is a little warped. I'm gonna have to work on that. I think, you know, because my page was a little wet. Hold on a minute. All right, there. That's better. I rolled it over the side of my desk so it's not curvy. I know, the stuff you do. All right, now I can put these on. And I'm out of adhesive. What? Why does this always happen in the middle of a project, right? I don't know how many of you guys have ATGs. Are you fast at changing tape? I've become like wicked fast at doing this because I use so much of it. So this is like an off-brand that I buy from Tape Jungle, and it is so cheap. It's like I buy it by the case or whatever, and that way it's only like $1.24 a roll, and it it lasts through a lot of pages. I can usually do probably like 5 2-page layouts per roll approximately. Okay, so I get a big tail, go over this bump, under this bump, and I wrap it around. Now this big ATG is not for everybody. Then there's this little hook in here, that you wrap it around. And then you just put this little clamp back on, and you're ready to roll again. Okay. But what I find, it's just so economical. It's really hard to find a less expensive adhesive unless you're going to go with like a liquid. So I love my ATG. And the other thing is, it's the strongest tape runner I can find, because you guys have seen my stuff that I pull out that's like, you know, 20 years old or whatever. And when I use those little mono adhesive runners, those little tape runners, even the Close to My Heart. This one isn't as good, I think, as the Close to My Heart adhesive. The Close to My Heart adhesive is amazing. And where is my Close to My Heart adhesive? I don't know. I have it in a project box right now. But it is very strong. It's also expensive, but it's a great thing when you get your half off deal. They have an adhesive bundle. It's a great thing to spend your half off deal on, because I hate to spend money on adhesive. You guys, I'm cheap. I'm cheap. Okay. All right, I'm gonna put that on here. Okay, so I have my mats that I just sort of have floating around. This is a 4 1/4 by 4 1/4, and I don't want to cut it down. I could, but I don't want to, because I don't want to cut my photos down more. I want my photos to be big. So this is going to be kind of a, I'm not sure how I'm going to do that yet. Let me grab my sticker sheet. We have lots of options for titles. What a Beautiful Day. Yeah. Partly Sunny with a Chance of Fun. Hooray for Springtime. Live Life in Full Bloom. Okay, since I'm planting flowers, the Live Life in Full Bloom makes sense to use. I'm going to pull that out. And I think Hooray for Springtime, this is not fun to me. A Beautiful Day, I can save that for something else. But the plant-related things I can use. This Plant Smiles, Grow Laughter, and Harvest Love is something I probably won't use on any other page. It's a perfect thing to use on this page. And, all right, let's just start with that. Get out my adhesive. I do like to use the thin adhesive on stickers. Especially if I don't cut them too big. Those are a little big. And you're probably like, don't use so much adhesive. No wonder you go through so much foam tape. But what I find is that if I don't, you know, I don't like how it gets bumpy, wavy in my books with the weight, because I tend to overfill my books too much. Yes, I do. All right, I'm going to put those little pieces over there. And this one, since I'm going to journal on it, I'm not sure I want to put foam tape on it. But I love the Live Life in Full Bloom. All right, where am I going to put that? I like the idea of having it in this corner. I know, yellow is hard. Yellow is really hard. The other thing, it's tempting to use this gnome, but I think I'd rather just use that for a card later. Here's another journal spot that might work. I want to make a cluster up here, and I don't know where I would ever use this kite, so might as well use it now. And let's see. Fresh from the garden. They're all green. I need another color. You know what I should do is pull out my plant, my greenery die cuts and make some cool greenery up here. So I'm just gonna kind of lay these here, but not attach them, if that makes sense. They're easy to pull up. I don't have them like in place at all. And put that there. I think this one would go on foam. I think what this is lacking is green, like the jade green, not the lime green, but the dark green. I need some dark green on here. So that will be my plan, is to cut a whole, go into my stash, find all my little thin cuts of leaves and put a whole bunch of little leaves all over. I think it needs some, possibly some flowers, since I'm planting flowers. I did not buy the stamp set that goes with this that has flowers all over it. So I won't be using that. But some of these little, you know, these little guys, I can scatter all over and I can tuck. So that's where I'm at. I am not going to make you watch me cut a whole bunch of greenery, but I will do it, and I will post a screenshot of my finished layout with all my little thin cuts. And I'm still deciding about a title, like a real alphabet style title, because there is a new alphabet in the new catalog that is so popular, it already sold out with the makers and they had to order more. Yes, it's true. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. And I may use it on here as a sneak peek. So when I show my screenshot, definitely look at this page, because I'm going to have some old stuff and some new stuff on here because I can't wait to use it. Yep, that's going to happen. Okay, so the big announcements, 2. 1 is flash sale, President's sale. I don't know what's going to be on it. They never tell us ahead of time. It starts at 3 and it goes through the whole like long weekend. And I'm excited about that. You should see the banner on my website that will take you to the sale products, and that's cool. The second announcement is Cardstock Carnival. If you're low on cardstock or even low on a few colors, think about waiting until March to order that, because it will be on special. I'm so happy. I love Cardstock Carnival. And then the other thing I just want to let you know is there are a few things completely sold out and no longer available in this catalog. There's not a lot of things. I think I counted 5 that are no longer available. This little window, this little post photo frame is sold out. It's been reordered 3 times, and it is it's gone now. So these 2 are still available, but you know what? There's an old window frame. I know I showed that like 2 years ago or something, around Halloween. Do you guys remember that window frame? It actually has shutters and stuff. I would not be shocked at all if it doesn't show up in this President's Day sale, because it's still on the website and it's so popular. It was so popular they ordered gobs and gobs of it. The other thing that's gone, let me think. I gotta think. This heart thin cut is gone. It's no longer available. I've shown it at least 3 times different. I've shown lots of things, so I hope you got that. But it's been reordered once and now it's gone. There's only 2 weeks left in the catalog, so they're not ordering more. They wouldn't get it in time. And what else? There's something in the party collection. I think it's the one with the cupcake is gone. I'm thinking. That one's still available. It's this one. That one right there. I have shown over and over and over again because I love it so much. That one is no longer available. That's the one that I have, I think, yeah. I have 1 extra of it, and it's $23.95 if you want it. It has the thin cuts, but it's no longer available on the website. I accidentally ordered it twice. I don't know how I do these things because I'm so good at keeping track of my stuff. So that's sold out. If you want it, I have it. I only have one. And I think that's it. I can't think of anything. I know there were 5 things that I counted, and that was not 5 things, but those are the biggies. So that's not terrible. And if you're dying for that heart thing, let me know. It's probably something that I will put in my purge pile at some point. If you're dying for that heart die cut and you missed it, just let me know. Oh, one other announcement. JJ, you know, she does the cards for the elderly. She asked me if I would be interested in doing just a little card class where we could, you know, make a few cards. You know, I think she thought, you know, everybody could buy a kit. We could just make them together. But I came up with a plan I came up with a cutting guide and a plan to make like 4 Z-fold cards using your stash. It uses like a couple of sheets of cardstock, a couple of sheets of pattern paper, and you can pull out of your purge pile or your stash pile and use this stuff up. And I think I may use the birthday paper, but I'm not sure because I have a lot in my stash pile too. So I'm not sure exactly which paper I'll use, and I'm not sure of the date. It'll have to be a weekend, but I'll be doing that soon because I was kind of thinking maybe the first weekend in March. I'll have to see what her plans are and how she's doing. So if you're not a part of JJ's Cards for the Elderly site, please let me know. I'll send you an invite. It's amazing. You make cards, you send them to her. She disperses them among several care centers. And people so appreciate these cards. You have no idea. So it's just an easy way to use your stash and, you know, in a couple of hours, make cards that you can mail to her. It's not crazy expensive because you're using up your junk that you just have sitting around. How many of us have that? All of us, raise your hands. Okay, anyway, thanks for watching. Oh my gosh, it's been an hour. I'm gonna go watch it snow. Bye-bye.